I'm rocking and rolling. I know I can do this now. I know that this works. I've seen it with my own eyes, and I know that I have to stick to these strategies and principles that I know work.
Today, we're sitting with Amanda, a woman who lost many, many thousands trusting financial institutions to grow her wealth. Now, determined to take control, she turned things around, doubling her crypto portfolio, growing her stock investment by 30% in just 8 months, all by herself.
You know, I was a bit lost. I had money, was giving it to stupid people that weren't doing anything with it or robbing me. And I knew eventually that I had to do something about it. And it was when the fear of not having enough that I thought, right, okay, enough's enough. I've got to do something about this.
Well, that's not all. She made 136% profit on Tesla and an incredible 518% on XRP, all while sticking to simple, low-risk strategies.
I'd say start small and prove it to yourself first, because these strategies work. But you have to be committed, and you have to learn the strategy, and you have to actually stick to the strategy. If you don't do that, then you're not following the right recipe, and therefore you might, you cannot tweak anything to begin with.
If you're ready to take control of your wealth and finally see results, Amanda's story is exactly what you need to hear. So let's hear from her.
Hello,
okay, how did you get into this whole investing thing? How did it all start for you?
How did it all start? Well, I knew I needed to do it for a very long time.
Really?
Because I used to work in my family business, run the family business that was pre-pressed lithographic printing equipment. My father was the inventor.
Right.
We were, it was a big company. We employed 110 people. It was in Walthamstow. And I thought I was set for life there.
I was going to say, you must be set for life.
Yeah,
what's the problem?
because money slips through your fingers. I mean, if you're not advised properly, and if you, and if you don't,
Are you talking about?
Yeah, me.
Okay.
Yeah, oh, of course.
Yeah.
I was badly advised. I made some very silly mistakes. And
So you went to advisors?
I went to, well, I didn't always go to advisors.
Okay.
But financial institutions have done me no favours, let me tell you. I mean, I've invested a lot of money with them, and the money just doesn't grow. They take their fees, and the money just doesn't grow.
That was my experience as well.
And it's really, really frustrating. So a few years after, I'm talking about, I've had money in a particular ISA that has been in there for about 13 or 14 years, and it's grown, I don't know, 30%. In all that, it should be doubled by now. It should. I mean, look at the. I mean, I've tried.
A lot more than
I've
that.
tried to. I've seen the compounding calculator. I know exactly how it should be growing, and I just think that I should have done this a long time ago. But you know what you always say: when is now the right time? So now is the right time.
No, but apparently, I was talking to Paul, and he said he spent 4 hours with you trying to convince you to come on in the end. But we'll come on to that.
Yeah.
Okay. So what I don't get with the institution, because they keep taking their fees. I get that. That's fine. But I don't really get it if they're not making you money. That's what I never got really.
No, well, nor did I. You see, I've always wanted to leave it to the experts.
Because they're the experts.
Because they're the experts,
Yeah.
and that's what I've always thought. I mean, okay, I've done some stupid things as well. I invested. I gave some money to a friend of mine's husband who was in foreign exchange, and he just robbed me. I had to take him to court. Wasn't just me either.
Oh, he really did.
Yeah, he really did. Steal.
Okay.
So that was another, but that was another one. A financial advisor advised me to go into a company that has since gone bust.
Okay. That's unusual.
Yes, I know. I mean,
That's unusual because normally they're very safe and they want to keep your money where it is kind of thing. But
well,
of
they
course,
shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, that's.
They shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
I invested a lot of money in gold bullion.
Okay. Yeah, that's done well.
Which, yes, apart from I invested at the height in 2012, and then I got scared when it went down. Okay. I've still got some, obviously, but and I've done really well now. But
you're a classic. You're a classic.
I am a classic.
Yeah.
I'm an absolute classic, and because you know what, I was frightened of money. I've been very successful in my life. I've been very privileged. You know, the family business was fantastic, and I should have been set up for life.
Yeah.
But I then had a whole series of disasters as well. You know, my husband died of cancer when he was 40. We'd been together for 20 years, and that sort of knocked me for six. And it was at the same time, it was very close to when we exited the business.
Yeah.
So my mindset was I was in a terrible place, because also I'd had IVF for 6 years, which didn't work, and of course he died.
Right.
So it was really, really difficult. It was really, really difficult.
It was, yeah.
So, you know, I was a bit lost. I had money, was giving it to stupid people that weren't doing anything with it, or robbing me, or whatever they were doing. And investing in, and I'm done. Just done with it all. I was so done with it. And I knew eventually that I had to do something about it. And it was when the fear of not having enough for my retirement, and particularly, and even, you know, going forward, it was when I got really scared that I thought, right, okay, enough's enough. I've got to do something about this now.
Okay, this is interesting. So you've got to do something about it, but you doing something about it, that's another step. So you thought, I have to do something about it.
I have to. I have to take control.
Yeah, exactly.
I have to take control, because if I don't, I'm going to end up, the money's just like slipping through my fingers. And and I'm trying to do the right thing by investing in, you know, doing what people, the experts, are telling me to do, and it's just not getting me anywhere at all, ever. Yeah. You know, and I've made some silly mistakes as well, but you know, when all is said and done, I should have been making money. Yeah. I had enough money to make money out of, and it didn't really work. So you just have to say enough's enough. Then so I love education as well. So after my husband died, I decided that I didn't know what to do with myself, because at that time I had no job, because the family business wasn't there anymore. Yeah. I had no husband, because he'd died. I had no children, which I desperately wanted. So I lost my identity. So I didn't know who I was, where I was, and what I was doing. So I went back into education. That's when I did my events degree, because I was always interested in events and stuff.
An events degree?
Yeah, I did an events degree.
Okay, I didn't know there was such a thing. That's cool.
Then, of course, I had breast cancer.
You've had one hell of a
journey. And I'm fine. I was very ill for a couple of years, though, and every time I had some real disasters in my life, I had to refocus my mind. So I thought, I'll go back into education, do another degree. I've got a couple of masters and a couple of degrees and this and that, and that's, you know, but really, what I was seeking, and it did do the job. You know, and I'm a university lecturer now. I lecture on the MBA at the University of East London.
What do you lecture on?
So on the Masters of Business Administration lecture, but I do marketing strategy and corporate social responsibility. That's what I teach, which I enjoy, and it's also my giving back. Because I mean, I'm not full time; I'm part time doing that, and I wouldn't want to be full time, because students are quite draining, as I'm sure you know. But so
I don't mind teaching people who want to be there. It's the people who don't want to be there.
Exactly.
They drain my energy.
Exactly. You know, but you've got. So I've got the right mindset to learn, and I love learning too. However, you've got there's something extra you need. So after I was done with it all, I thought, right, okay. I was still working as events director, and I thought, right, crypto, got to get into crypto, just got to get into it.
What made you say that? Why did you have to get into crypto?
Because I thought I didn't want to do stocks and shares, because I felt I'd had such a bad experience with everything, with financial institutions. So I thought, I'm not doing that. I'm going to learn crypto. And I found you, and I thought, right, okay, I'm joining Investment Mastery. So 3 years ago, I decided, right, okay, I'm going to get into crypto, found you, and I thought, okay, let's do the workshop, because I learn best through other people teaching me, and the videos are great, but
I learned that way as well, the actual workshop.
Yeah, I preferred the workshop because you can also ask questions. So I did the workshop, but I was still fully involved being event director, and I didn't actually even sign into Investment Mastery.
You didn't even log on?
I didn't log on. I did nothing. On the workshop, I opened a Binance account, I bought a couple of coins, blah, blah, blah. But I was very nervous, so I put tiny amounts in.
I'm not surprised. Yeah,
so,
after everything you've been through.
So I did that, and then dropped. I member of Investment Mastery for 2 years. I did my 3-year member, whatever I did, right? And then in November, a couple of last year, no, not last year, the year before last, I thought, right, that's enough. I've got to do it properly now.
Why? What?
Because I'd been messing around. I don't like not committing myself. If I've made a decision and then I've got it on the back burner, what's the point? What's the point of paying for your membership when you don't do anything? So I thought, right, okay, I've got to do it now. So along I came again, and
so this
I found
is now your second workshop?
This is now my second workshop. Still haven't signed into Investment Mastery, and gone through anything else. And I did the workshop. Brilliant. I'm definitely going to do it this time. And this was November. And I thought, right, I'm definitely doing it. I'm definitely doing it. I didn't. And then in the January, the third workshop comes along. And I thought, do you know what? If I don't do this now, I was terrified because I didn't know. I knew that I was going to make a big commitment by joining Gold. And I knew that I had to be committed. But my history had shown for the last 2 years I hadn't even signed in.
Yeah, it's
so I thought, if I don't do this, I need to be accountable.
I was about to say, it's the accountability.
It's the accountability. It's everything actually, and I've got a list of amazing things for Investment Mastery. So I'll tell you now: the accountability, getting out of your comfort zone, the mindset, the community, which is everything, and buddy groups.
Yeah, I know you love the buddy groups. You're
a
buddy group champion.
Just love it, absolutely love it. And with all those things together, are priceless, to be perfectly honest with you. And Gold has changed my life. But so I got into Gold, and I thought, and poor Paul had a hard time with me because I was nervous. I knew I was making a big commitment, and I don't like to make a commitment without actually making the commitment. Because it's important. So I thought, okay, let's give it a go. And Dennis will testify. I knew nothing. I knew literally nothing. And for the first 2 months that I joined Gold, I still couldn't use TradingView.
Wow.
So I was too scared to admit it.
That's the charting software for people listening, by the way. That's
the essential thing that you have to be able to do, otherwise you can't really do it properly.
Yeah.
So, but I was listening. I attended every workshop, every webinar,
everybody learns differently.
And I was listening and listening. Of course, you get more and more familiar with it all. And then I went to the stock workshop. This was a couple of months into my Gold. And I got way out of my comfort zone and shared my screen. The TradingView's going all over the place. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. But you know what? That one thing changed my life.
Okay, so this is really important, I think. So the fact that what thing? The fact that you shared your screen.
The fact that I shared my screen, and it was getting out of my comfort zone, allowing the community to help me, and the wonderful crew members, which is why I then decided that within 6 months I wanted to crew, and I have been crewing since July last year, every single workshop.
So you used some words there, allowing them to help me. So you didn't want them to help. You know, pride gets in the way. You know, you think that you know things, or you don't, or you think you should be able to know these things, because it's not actually that difficult, but it's a skill. You just need to learn how to control the mouse, really. That's what you really need to do with TradingView. So you didn't want to kind of admit to anybody that you didn't, that you weren't where maybe some people thought you might have been, especially since you've been a member for a while. And that's so interesting from a mindset point of view, isn't it?
Yeah.
So when we say, success 80% is mindset.
Oh.
Some people think it's 90.
Yeah, and I think I'd probably concur there as well. So it was so important to do that. So then I thought, right, okay, I can do this now. So I went into my first VCA. Now, bearing in mind that crypto was really the thing that I joined the club for. And I was terrified of stocks and shares, but I thought, no, let's do this. And also, I've watched lots of these lovely YouTube videos, and seen some.
What YouTube videos? You mean the
people
success
who have been,
stories?
Yeah, success.
The greats, as you call them.
The greats, the people who have been before me, which I'm very honoured to be here.
Now part of it.
And they're such amazing role models. And of course, I know a lot of them personally now, and they're my mentors. And I think they're fantastic people, all of them. And of course, it's very simple, but it goes against the grain. And for everything that I've done, like for example, when I bought my gold back in 2012 at the height, and then I panicked and I sold a lot of it when it went down, as most people do. You have to, the VCA is you're buying on the way down, so you're actually it's going down a bit.
Counterintuitive,
it's counterintuitive, but then of course you're blowing your average price, so it's easier to get into profit. Of
course, you can only do this with things that aren't going to go to zero, right?
Of course, absolutely. So Tesla's my favourite, and the story goes with Tesla that so I went into Tesla VCA, but of course
several times,
several times. But the first time that I was in it, I still hadn't thought about taking profit because it hadn't really entered my brain about taking profit. And I was actually in Palo Alto. We're visiting my goddaughter, who's at Stanford University there, and 15%. Tesla went to 15%, and I panicked. I was like running around, going, "Oh my God, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? Don't know. Haven't any clue. Didn't have a plan. Knew I should have really set my stop loss at 10%, but didn't. And of course, then it goes down. Right. So I thought, right, enough. Not doing that again.
Oh, hold on. So what did you do? You didn't get out. You just
didn't get it out, but I made
froze.
But froze.
Yeah.
But that
Classic.
One thing, because of the mindset change that I've already been through, from being in the club and gold for a few months, I knew that I had to really get that sorted in my head. And of course, you have to go back to the strategy. And until you are good enough to change the recipe of the strategy, you have to stick to the strategy. So the strategy rules are: you put your stop loss in when it reaches 15%. You put your stop loss in at 10, and of course, you then follow it up. Well, I managed to make 50% on Tesla the next time it went up, which wasn't very long after. It was a couple of weeks later.
That's brilliant.
So I waited, and then I followed it up, and I thought, right, I'm rocking and rolling. I know I can do this now. I know that this works. I've seen it with my own eyes, and I know that I have to stick to these strategies and principles that I know work. I mean, obviously, since then I've changed it slightly, but
it's almost as if, I'd like to come back to the changing it thing. It's almost as if you had to go through that.
Yes.
You had to go through your own personal journey to get there.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. And I didn't really believe, because of all the
what didn't you believe?
Disasters that had happened to me in my financial life up until that point. I didn't believe that it was actually possible. I didn't really believe it. So I had to see it for myself, and hence the panic went. it was hilarious, the panic, the Tesla panic. But of course now it's my favourite VCA.
So you've gone in several times.
I've been in 5 or so. I think I'm in my 6th or 7th time now.
Yeah.
I've made around 136%.
Nice.
On it, and I'm back in it again.
I have a question for you. Since you've been in there so many times, do you put more money in every time, or you still? Because some people limit themselves and they put the same amount of money in every time.
That's been tough for me as well. The scaling up side has been really, really tough.
It is.
It's really tough. But I'm learning that now. That's sort of my mission now, because I know I can make a lot of money now. I mean, 35% on my whole portfolio in 8 months.
And it's amazing.
Compared to whatever the financial institutions have done, which is virtually nothing over a very, very long period of time, you know, I can do it. I can do it. I can't believe I can do it, but I can. And I have. And I am going to continue to do it. You know, so now VCA is my favourite strategy. I love Tesla. And also the other mindset thing, which is really, really important that I found, I don't mind about leaving some money on the table. I don't put my stop loss very close to the price. Okay. And I'm trying to use structure now to do it, because I mean,
actually, I think that's smart, because it needs, especially Tesla, it needs you know, room to move. And if you go, oh, I need to get my 15%, you might not get your 50.
No, exactly. So I sometimes don't put my stop loss in when it gets to 15 at 10. Sometimes I leave it until 20%, or it depends on how quickly it's moving. Sometimes these things move really, really quickly. But there's no point in watching a stock going up and down and up and down. It's pointless. It's literally pointless. So when I first started, you see, I wasn't even going to do VCA, but I had, as well as putting all this money in with a financial institution, someone had told me to put some money in Interactive Investor, is the ISA that I use, and I'd put money in there.
So it's tax-free.
So it was tax-free, and that had just been sitting there for about 5 years. In fact, I'd invested in silver, but of course that must have gone up and down. I wasn't even looking at it.
Totally, yeah, totally.
So by the time I got out of that, I'd made a little bit, 5% or something, but not a huge amount. But that's the money that I use to
in your ISA.
In my ISA.
Oh, brilliant! So you've been doing this tax-free.
All of the VCAs are in my ISA. Well, there's no point in doing it any other way, is there? I mean, it's tax-free or nothing really. So, but of course, cryptos aren't. But
well, there are ways.
Yeah, SAS.
Through a SAS, yeah.
Yeah, but I need to investigate that. So I've still got a huge amount to learn. But I am on my way.
But we all have huge amounts to learn. I want to get to the next stage. I have huge amounts to learn. There's always, you know. I only set up my SAS 2.5 years ago.
Oh, really?
And then as soon as I saw it working, I said, I need to tell everybody about it.
Yeah.
Tell me about cryptos then, because you've been talking. You wanted crypto, so you wanted cryptos, but then you did VCA and you love Tesla. So what about cryptos? Have you been doing cryptos?
Yes, no. I have been doing cryptos. I'm still because it's down at the moment. I'm investing more, and of course the bull run is upon us, and you know, I'm looking forward to making a lot of money from them.
We all are.
Very volatile. You've got to get ready for that, and I'm very delighted that I've already got my mindset. I don't think you can 100% get your mindset, you know, ready for volatility, as we've already experienced this year. But
so what have your results been?
I've doubled my money, so I've made 100% profit in the last year.
Wow, that's amazing. No, because you took that in, you know, you were, and I thought something bad was going to happen, but you did 100%. Wow, that's amazing. How do you feel about that?
I feel great. I feel really good. I've just got to turn that into solid money. You know, at the moment I'm still investing because it's very volatile, and but I'm so excited about this bull run. I am so excited about it. I'm so excited I'm here. I'm so excited I'm in it. And I know that this works. I know it works, and I know that I'm standing on this precipice, knowing that I'm going to make a lot of money in the next few months. I know.
Precipice sounds like you're just about
I'm surveying all before me is what I'm doing.
Yes, this is your land.
Yes, absolutely.
But you know, you talk, or you just said about I know. Talk to me about backtesting.
Right.
Because that's the key.
That is the key. That is the key. I've buddy groups.
The other key.
I'm very fortunate to have found the people that, I mean, everybody at Investment Mastery is amazing, and community is everything, but your buddies are your backbone. They are just, so
shout out to Virginia.
Yes, shout out to Virginia, my best buddy. We work in a very, very similar way, and we're very detail-driven people. So when we backtest, we do it we backtest. And we do it very, very precisely. And you know, you can see the whole cycle of crypto, the 4-year cycle. So you could see, I think it was we backtested Solana the whole of 2023. I think it was like in the pits. It was about 20, and now what is it today? I don't even know what it is.
It's gone back down, but it's around $192 or something.
Yeah. And it was 23.
Amazing.
So a lot of it is about timing, and of course you learn from the history of the cycle, and that of course excites me. I feel like this time is my prep for the next bull run.
Well, that's good. I like that.
So
you don't have this short term. I've got to make it all now.
Oh no. This is not a get rich quick scheme. This is not. This is commitment, but you need to just learn. Once you've learned, you just need to keep going. And when you and if you keep going, then you will make a lot of money. There is not. You might. You will. You will. You just need to learn how to do it, and you have to get your mindset right, and you have to, you know, surround yourself with the right people, get your environment right, and Investment Mastery does all of that for me. All of that. I mean, my 5 things, as I said to you before, are accountability. Accountability is key for me personally. It's not for everybody, but you know.
I think it is for everybody, but it depends on you know, how much. Some people don't need a lot.
Yeah.
And some people need a lot. But it's about knowing yourself.
Yeah, it is about knowing
yourself.
Yeah.
It's not about I need a lot, I don't need a lot. It's okay, I know that I do.
Yeah.
So accountability.
Accountability is vital. Getting out of your comfort zone is key. It's because if you don't do that, then how do you progress in your life? You can't.
Well, most people don't.
So, you know, speaking to you on the workshops, crewing, sharing, you know, my experiences. You know, I particularly because of what happened in the workshop with the TradingView thing. When I'm crewing, I always tell everybody that I'm in my group that it's the way I get them to share their screen. To be perfectly honest with you.
No, but that's brilliant.
And I always tell them that because I've been there, and it wasn't very long ago either. It was only last year. Yeah. You know, it really wasn't very long ago. And so if I can help anybody a little bit just to feel the way that I feel now about it, then why wouldn't I want to help somebody do it?
I'm totally, I'm totally with you. Yeah.
So that's how I feel. So that's accountability, getting out of your comfort zone. Community is everything, because the community is your role model, and you know, fantastic. And there's a lot in the Investment Mastery that you know I would like to emulate, and I am emulating, and I just want that to continue. That teaching is amazing. Everyone is great, and I love them all. Mindset. Oh God, if you don't get your mindset right, you can't do it. You can't do. I mean, it's because it's counterintuitive, and that story about Tesla with the up and down. And then you know you have to make a decision, and you have to follow the strategy until you're good enough to tweak it a little bit. But you can't actually change it fundamentally. You can tweak things, but you cannot change the fundamentals of any of it.
So go on then, what did you tweak?
Well, sometimes now I get in, depending on the stock. After I backtest, sorry, we were on backtesting, and I diverted. When you backtest, you can find out what the peaks and troughs are, and how far a stock or a crypto or anything will go down. So you can make a judgment on how much you're going to go in after, because I mean it's usually 20, 30, 40 and so on. But I mean quite often something like Nvidia or Tesla, I'll go in at minus 10%.
Yeah, especially in a bull market.
And I'll see how I get on, and I won't go down as far, because if it's never going to drop 90%. I mean, obviously cryptos do drop 90%, particularly in the bear run.
Yeah, I was going to say not right now.
Not right now, no. But having back tested everything, Well, if they follow history,
Capable
which,
of.
you know, yeah, what are they capable of? So therefore, I will adjust my entries
Well, that's okay.
accordingly.
Yeah,
and what I'm trying to learn now is, rather than the mechanical bit of following it up every 5%, I'm trying to find a little bit of structure, so that I can put my stop loss where the structure is, so that, or just
So
a
you're
little
actually
bit below.
reading the charts.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's what you should do. But if you teach that to total beginners, I found it's just too much.
It is.
So you do, like, you know, the percentages, or but then after a while, especially at gold, it's got to be, because every stock is different. The chart pattern is different.
Yeah,
that's the way to really do it. But it's too much. We want it to simplify things.
And do you know what? If you hadn't done that, I wouldn't be where I am today. No way. Because I needed, because I was terrified of it, because I was terrified of losing more money. I needed something that was really simple, but of course, you know, you need to grow into something. So once you start seeing brilliant results, and I've had really good results. I mean, also my best crypto, of course, is XRP, 518%.
In what time frame?
In, well, probably 6 months.
Wow. Talk to me a little bit more about the back testing then. So you in your buddy group, which was your number 5, I think, of that list as well, was the buddy group. But so, is it important to back test?
Very important to back test. It's important to back test because if you don't know how a certain stock or crypto behaves, then how can you get the most out of it? So if you know that a stock is very volatile, then I'm quite happy to leave 5 or 10% on the table these days. Mm-hmm. If I put my stop loss at a certain level and it comes down to it and I've lost 10%, I don't care. You know what I do? Go straight back in. You know, especially with something like Tesla.
But it's really interesting. So for you, it's to backtest the actual stock, not the strategy.
Yeah, using the strategy.
No, I get that.
Yeah.
But that's interesting because I think you've added another layer to it there. So for us, we want people to backtest so that they have the certainty of the strategy. If you backtest 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 times, you go, right, that's it, now I'm doing it for real. Like, come on, it's what. Yeah. But what you're saying is, yes, but also, if you're about to get into a Solana or an XRP or whatever it is, backtest that because that might be more or less volatile or might have a characteristic.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's really cool.
Yeah. That's exactly what I do. And I've also used, I've backtested contrarian momentum, but not just on crypto. I've used crypto stocks as well.
Yeah, I mean, they're pretty volatile as well.
And even Tesla.
Yeah.
Even Tesla you can do that on.
Yeah.
So that's quite useful as well.
You just love Tesla, don't you?
I do love Tesla. I've got to get Tesla, haven't I? With my profits. Eventually. So, yeah. But I mean, I invest a lot in at the moment. I'm invested a lot in crypto stocks because of the impending bull run, and I'm expecting to make quite a lot there. They're not doing brilliantly at the moment, but
which ones?
MSTR, Mara.
They're not doing brilliantly. You're joking.
Well, no, they are doing brilliantly, but they're going to do even better.
Yeah. I'm up loads on Coinbase and MSTR and.
Oh yeah, Coinbase. So I've got a lot. I've got CLSK.
Yeah. But I know what you mean. They've come down a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm playing a bit of a waiting game with them at the moment, which is fine. I mean, my waiting game is not years. It's not even months. It's weeks, days to weeks. You know, and.
But you're doing the contrarian momentum on them as well.
Yes, you can do the contrarian momentum on them. I'm not doing it at the moment, but you can because I've back tested it and I know that
Why aren't you doing it?
Haven't really had time at the moment, but I need to get myself back in. I've had my house refurbished, 5 months of builders, and my mother was terribly ill as well. So I'm now getting myself back in. To things.
This is why, for busy people, I feel that the strategy, like we don't teach intraday trading. We could teach intraday trading, And people, yeah, intraday trading. But actually, most people don't have the time.
No, you're right.
Nor should they, because life isn't about looking at a screen for 8 hours a day.
No.
It's about setting it 20 minutes and then get on with your life and let the market do the work.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Oh, absolutely. That's exactly what you need to do. Exactly. I mean, sometimes when things are going well, I do like looking at my on my phone. But I don't tend to do that a lot, to be perfectly honest with you.
I look every day. Do you look more than once a day?
Sometimes I do, but actually I used to look more than I do now because I know it's doing its job, and really what you really have to look at it for now is to set your stop losses because you're in profit.
Yeah.
And that's the most important thing, because what you don't want to do is you don't want to do what I did with the Tesla thing at the beginning, watch it go up, stop panicking, then watch it go down.
That
and then
sucks, doesn't it? When
well, what's the point? What is the point? What is the point? You might as well, it's better to capture 10% and go back in than it is to get nothing.
Totally, yeah.
So, you know, I mean, and I watched in November, I watched my whole portfolio. I was looking at it way more than once a day. This went up 20% in one day. The whole thing.
The whole what?
The whole portfolio.
Went up by 20%?
Went up by 20% in one day, and I exited quite a few of them.
I'm glad you did, because normally what that means, so in my experience, when you have, maybe not one day, but if you have like 2 or 3 days of it doing something like that, the whole thing, and then the whole thing, that's the top.
Yeah.
And that you got to get out.
Yeah.
And you see it in the chart as well, but when you really see it in your portfolio, you go, whoa, what just happened? What just happened?
Yeah, exactly that. And I was screenshotting it every hour or something, screenshotting it and sending it out to my buddies. Right, look, it's gone again, it's gone again.
You're not supposed to have any emotions. What's going on?
Well, no, but when something like that, which is very unusual, happens, to be honest with you, I don't have any emotions about taking profit anymore, because I know that I've got my, and I don't care if I leave some money on the table either. I really don't.
No, that's good.
So
you're a good case study, because of all the mistakes, but also giving your money to other people, etc. And as a result, you were probably more scared about losing more money than most people. Yes. So what would you say to somebody who is scared about losing money? Because that's the number one fear.
Yeah.
So what would you say to somebody starting out?
I'd say start small and prove it to yourself first, because these strategies work, 100%. But you have to be committed, and you have to learn the strategy, and you have to actually stick to the strategy, because a lot of people don't stick to the strategy, or you haven't got it in your head. You have to do that. You have to do that. If you don't do that, then you're not following the right recipe, and therefore you might, you cannot tweak anything to begin with.
Absolutely. So why do you think people don't follow the strategy, though? Because they pay us to teach them, then they don't follow this. So why? Why?
Ego, pride. I don't really know, to be perfectly honest with you, because that's not really my character. So I think I'm going to be sexist here. I think men are less likely to follow a strategy.
I agree.
Than women, because maybe they think they know better. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not a man.
Okay, so let me try this. I'm making this up as I go along. So they don't follow a strategy. It's got nothing to do with a strategy, whether they know it or don't know it. It's because they immediately, their neurons go back to the pathways that they're used to, which is, it's going down, I'm feeling something, and now I'm labeling this feeling, and this is panic and scared and whatever, and then they do something silly. Yeah. They didn't mean not to follow, they just forgot that there weren't any rules there in the first place.
No, but that's why, this is pivotal for me. That is why I make it very mechanical. So it gets to 15 or 20%, and you don't think about it, you just put your stop loss in 5% below.
But how do you do that? How do you not think about it? How do you do it?
just do it. You just do it. You
But that's
must
just
not
like
engage
saying,
your brain.
just go to the gym. Just do it. But how do you do it? Is it just a habit now? Is that what it is?
It's a
You've
habit now.
conditioned
Well,
yourself?
I've conditioned myself. I have conditioned myself. 100% I've conditioned myself. And I think, you see, I'm not trading yet, but I know that I can read charts. I'm not an expert, but I can read charts better than, well, certainly better than I could. But I'm being able, I'm becoming, I can spot patterns now. And I never thought I could. I mean, when Dennis used to fly around the chart and, you know, flagpoles and all the rest of it, I used to think, how do you see that? Because I can't. And now, do you know, I mean, it's unreal, because you look at something enough and you spend enough time on something and you really can see it. And it's just incredible. So my goal now is I want to get good at trading. I don't know if I'm going to prefer. I will always do my VCAs, and crypto is of course, it's the year for crypto this year. So I will be doing that, and when I'm not doing the CCA and the small cap for crypto, I'll be doing crypto versus crypto contrarian momentum, because I think that's a really good strategy too. And staking and whatever else.
No, but I think you're right. I think you do need to learn trading eventually. I mean, some people do it immediately, but most people don't, because it just gives you more options depending on what the market does. And also, what's very important is what you're doing is you're doing both stocks and cryptos, because once we rotate into the bear market, well, where are you going to put your money? Well, you're going to probably put it into stocks. So, and in the UK, we can short stocks. So we're going to be shorting all the crypto stocks.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Of course. You can't do that with cryptos. That's why it's so important. We always say, stay with the club, because we're going to tell you exactly what we're going to educate you.
And your teaching is excellent.
Thank you.
I have to say. And you have some excellent teachers here.
Yeah, they're awesome. They're so awesome.
Mean,
you know why? Because they really come from the heart. They really want you to get it.
Dennis is amazing. Keith and Damon, they're just brilliant, and I love them all. I really do. I really do. And you, Marcus.
That was a side note.
No,
but that's fine. I'm happy with that. Do you know why? Because I'm not. Okay, I shouldn't say this about myself. But leaders create other leaders, and so I love that. I love the fact that they are where they are, and outpacing me, because they are a bit younger, and they love the technology, and they the latest thing, and and I love that.
Yeah,
I love that.
Yeah, but your mindset is second to none.
Okay, that's what. Yeah, I still bring that to the table, so just about. No, but they are amazing. So you would say to somebody, just start with a small amount of money, but you would say do it.
Oh, 100%. I'd say do it.
What about like anybody though? Could anybody do it? Like
Anybody, anyone can do it. Anyone can do this. You just have to follow the recipe. You have to follow the strategy, but you have to be willing to. I mean, it's very overwhelming. I mean, I've done loads of workshops now, but the workshops at the beginning are really quite overwhelming. And even though you've simplified it, and that's brilliant that you've simplified it, because I would never have, if it was complicated. In the beginning, I probably wouldn't have done it, because I would have thought it was way above my head, and I'm not, even though I like learning and I'm good at learning and things like that. It's.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think, though, that you would be where you are now without the gold fast track?
No. Oh no, 100% I wouldn't. I didn't even sign into the club.
So what is it about the gold fast track then that is that?
Gold fast track has changed my life. Undoubtedly, it's. Well, I knew that when I signed up to Gold Fast Track, I knew that I had to commit myself properly, because what is the point of joining something? And I can never understand people who spend all that money and don't do it. See, and I liken it to a master's degree, if you like, because it's the same amount of time. It's a year. It's a similar amount of money as well, to be perfectly honest with you, and but to get that qualification, you have to. It involves you actually doing stuff, and it involves you committing yourself to a greater or lesser degree. Don't get me wrong. Anybody can learn this. You don't have to be gold fast track. You just have to be a little bit disciplined. And and it will be slower. But, you know, if you really, you know, not everybody's got the money to do it, but if you really want to accelerate your game and you want to meet the community, see, this is the other thing about anything to do with investing money, crypto, anything like that. Everybody says to you, outside the community, everybody will say to you, oh, what are you doing? Are you a millionaire yet? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm just sick of it all. I'm just not interested. I don't tell anyone what I'm doing. They'll all know now.
But I know what you mean. That daily dose of sarcasm.
So you have to have the community around you so that you can talk to people about it, because otherwise you're very, very isolated. You don't want to be isolated. You need to be able to discuss this with people. So the accountability is second to none. I mean, Dennis will testify I was probably very difficult at the beginning.
That's why you're such a good case study.
Yeah, so I was probably very difficult, I needed the accountability, but of course I throw myself into these things and I will always fill in the accountability sheet. I mean, I believe in this so wholeheartedly that best buddy Virginia and I now run the accountability sessions, and I've got one this afternoon. So, you know, because everybody needs somebody, and everybody needs somebody who's on a similar journey, a similar position. Don't get me wrong, we're all doing different things. Some people are now doing prop trading. Some people are more heavily into crypto than others. Lots of people are doing VCAs. You know, but it's the community and it's the sharing. And we always go around the room. We still fill in the forms. We go around the room. And interestingly, the people that come to the accountability session and the people that have really stayed the course are Virginia and my buddy groups, believe it or not.
Yeah, I do believe it, yeah.
Because I believe so passionately in this accountability. I believe so passionately in the strength of what buddies can give you. I mean, I believe that they have given me, helped me make more money. They've given me the confidence. A lot of it's confidence as well.
It's 80% confidence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they've done, and you're doing it together. You know, crewing together. You know, who want no man's an island? You don't want to be alone. Why do you want to be alone? You want to be part of something, and this is a great thing to be part of, in my opinion.
Yeah, I know people do loads of different things and hobbies and stuff, but I just think that this is something which you likened it to a master's or an MBA. I just think it's more even more useful because it's something you can teach your family. It's something that you can do for the rest of your life. You know, it doesn't take that long, depending. I would say, you know, crypto's 20 minutes, stocks 20 minutes. So what, 40 minutes a day? Final thoughts.
My final thoughts are this: I still believe that that relying on experts is a good thing, but there's one fundamental difference. Get yourself educated by the best, investment mastery. Come and join me. I'm on my way. Come and join me, because if I can do it, you can too.
You can do it. I can do it. That's brilliant. Thank you so much. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.